Okay, so today we're gonna talk about AWS CloudFront, one of AWS services that are most commonly used. AWS CloudFront هي من خدمات عن AWS مستخدمة بشكل كثير، وبدنا نشرح عن شغلتين قبل ما نبلش. We want to explain two main concepts before going into these slides. So the first concept is caching or caches. And the second concept is content delivery network. So these are the two concepts we want to talk about today. And let's talk about caching. So let's imagine we have a box full of toys. ففي عنا بوكسة معبية ألعاب. And this box that is full of toys is a big box. So every time you want to pick up a toy أو بدك تشوف لعبة, you are going to take a lot of time. So عنا بوكسة, والبوكسة فيها كثير ألعاب لأنها بوكسة كثير كبيرة. خلينا نفترض إنه إحنا بدنا لعبة, فلما بدنا نيجي ندور في هاي البوكسة رح تاخد معنا كثير وقت. So we have a big box that's full of toys, and if we want a toy, we need to take our time looking for it. So to solve this problem, me as a mom, I'm not a mom, I'm just hypothetically saying, solve this problem. We build a shelf beside it and put our most used toys on that shelf. So العبرة من هاي اللي كتبتها, تخيل عنا بوكس كبيرة فيها ألعاب وبوكس كثير كبيرة, فأي لعبة بدك تلاقيها وبدك تدور عليها رح تاخذ معك كثير وقت. فالحل لهاي المشكلة إنك تحط شلف زي هاد بالضبط اللي هون اللي فوق راسي, تحط عليه أكثر الألعاب استخداما. Okay, so this is a concept that is used. It's called caching. It's meant to solve a problem that if we have a user, we're not going to use our user today, so this is our user, and we have a server, and we have a caching layer right here. So this is our box, this is our shelf, and for commonly used data, we can go to the caching layer instead of going to the database. And if we want anything new, we can go to the database. So this is much easier, more efficient, faster, and it's gonna optimize resources. So this is caching. And let me put it in blue. So this is caching and a simplified version. Okay, so content delivery network. Let's imagine we are watching cartoon. And let's say the TV is far away. So the TV or the TV signal is far away. So your cartoon show is slow. So you bring the source closer to you. Now you can watch cartoon in a faster pace. بالعربي أنا حاب أحضر إشي لنفترض على اليوتيوب. So we have a video on YouTube. And this video is taking a lot of time. This video is trending, let's say, in Jordan. So Content Delivery Network, or CDN, uses caching to optimize resources and to make you able to watch your cartoon much faster. So it brings it to you. So is there any question على Content Delivery Network CDN أو caching? So لما نحكي content delivery network, we're talking on a global pace. عم نحكي عن إشي عالمي، عن إشي كبير. So we're talking on a huge pace. We're not talking on something that is region. No, we're talking on a global scope. So today's CloudFront or AWS CloudFront is based on these two concepts, which are CDNs, content delivery networks, and caching. So let's go through the introduction, talk a little bit about its key features, how it works, benefits, use cases, and pricing. So introduction. Of course, let's say you're trying to watch this cartoon show on your own and CloudFront helps you. So CloudFront comes here. So CloudFront comes here. He is the messenger that brings the signal close to you. So messenger is wrong. Let me fix that. That's good. Okay. So let's say CloudFront is right here. It's going to help you optimize your resources and it's going to be much faster. It's going to help you. It's the messenger that brings this kind of content close to you. Actually, kind of CDNs are much used for static content, but let's see. So it's a fast content delivery network CDN service that is offered by AWS. It delivers videos, data, applications, APIs, whatever. And the most important thing that is low latency and it has a very high transfer speed. So we have here a photo of the moon, and like in the beginning we have a photo of the Earth, and we're gonna like this slide is sponsored by the Earth because we're talking on a global scope. So Earth Content Delivery Network. Key features. Of course, it works on what's called a global edge network. So edge networking or edge locations. If you got on the exam anything that is considered, or if you have a question that has edge locations, always think CloudFront on the top of your mind, but read the question first. So I'm not responsible. You have to read the question, but typically the answer would be CloudFront. So edge location, CloudFront. Let's say that. Let's write this down. So edge location equal CloudFront, but not always. Read the question. Okay, so edge location is CloudFront. So it works on a huge network, on a global network, on AWS edge location network. And these edge location caches a copy of your content closer to you and your end user. So if we have a globe, let's have a good globe, please. Globe that is free. So let's say this one right here, that is not white. I want to change it to blue or black. Okay. So let's say we have a pin. Okay, that's good. So this is the pin I need, or this one. This one's much better, yeah. So let's say we have, here's me, this is Asia somehow, some way. And let's say I have posted my content right here. So edge location gives you the ability to cache content, as we said, cache content, and it's gonna send it to like the American, what's it called? To the American region, okay? So it's gonna cache a copy of mine. Look, it's the similar pin, it's the same size, everything, and it's gonna cache a copy to that area right there, which is closer to me and myself and to my end users. Reducing latency, of course, we said lower the latency, the better. Content caching, we've talked about content caching. We're gonna talk about it again. It's gonna cache copies into what's called an edge location. And when user requests this kind of content, CloudFront check the edge location for a copy and is gonna send that copy to it. And if it's not available, we've talked about this, it's gonna get it from the origin server and it's gonna keep a copy of it. So if you remember this drawing, you have said if it's something that's randomly used, like the toys, it's gonna have it from that shelf, it's gonna have it from that caching layer. But if it's something new, we're gonna have to go back to the box or the server or the origin server and get that kind of information from there. Of course, we have something that's timeout. Let's say we have updated something right here. So if we updated something أو عدلنا إشي على الداتابيس أو على الأوريجين سيرفر، طب هذا راح يخلي عنده copy for the old version. So it's gonna have an older version. It's not gonna take a copy. So CloudFront gives you the ability to time out, let's say, and then it's gonna renew this kind of copy. So let's say every 3 days, go get a copy of that origin server and keep it to yourself in case I have modified anything. Okay. Origin servers, it can pull content from different types. We can pull it from services, and we can pull it from custom origins such as on-premise or any other HTTP server. So we can pull it either from an AWS service, another one, or you can pull it from an on-premise service. So security, of course, AWS Shield, DDoS attacks. If you know DDoS attacks or distributed denial of service, distributed denial of service. So again, as we said that edge locations is equal to CloudFront, but not always. Also DDoS attacks, distributed denial of service is equal to AWS Shield. Those are most common exam questions. So be careful, guys. And we have what's called a web application firewall, WAF. It protects, again, common web exploits like SQL injection. There's a lot, maybe man in the middle. WAF, it's going to help you. Though both these things are AWS services, so AWS Shield and AWS WAF are AWS services that can integrate with CloudFront. Also, we have field level encryption. It's going to encrypt sensitive and protect sensitive data at the application layer. HTTPS, it's the secure version of HTTP. So performance optimization, we've talked about optimizing performance, and it's going to help us have a latency-based routing. We've talked about these in Route 53. Geo-targeting, so you can customize your content delivery based on geographic location, and compression, so you can make the data in a zip file and send it to users, and it's gonna reduce the amount of data that needs to be transferred, even the amount of cost. So sometimes you get charged for that. So we have this thing called Lambda Edge. This is a solutions architect exam. You can run code closer by using CloudFront. So it's CloudFront or Lambda, let's say Lambda, that is at an edge location. It's going to help make Lambda run these functions faster. So this is what Lambda at Edge. It helps you run code closer to your users by using Lambda function at an AWS edge location, which enable you to have real-time, low-latency processing of requests. So you're just having the same old Lambda, but at edge. So how does it work? So we have to set up an origin server, which we have said it's either an AWS service like EC2 load balancer, or it can be an on-premise server or any HTTP point. Then we create what's called a CloudFront distribution. We configure cache behavior. Like we said, maybe we want a copy every 3 days, every 2 days, every 2 hours. It's up to you. Then we deliver content, and then we monitor and optimize using, as we always do, CloudWatch and CloudWatch metrics. So benefits. First thing, we're going to have higher performance, like basically because it's going to ensure that all of our content is delivered to users and in lower latency and in best performance. Scalable, of course, it's handle sudden traffic spikes, so it's very scalable. Security, it has multiple layers. We've talked about the integration of AWS WAF and AWS Shield, that is for DDoS attacks. Integrations, it can also integrate with other AWS services such as EC2, load balancer, Lambda, like Lambda at Edge. So it has the ability to integrate with other AWS services. Use cases, we can use it for web acceleration. We can use it to make our cartoon show to be faster, live video streaming, a lot of things. So web acceleration, we can both deliver static and dynamic content with low latency and high transfer speeds. But it's most suggested to use it with static content. It's much better than dynamic content. So static content. Static content, that is, there's no database behind it. It's just front end, no back end. And you can use CloudFront for live event streaming and on-demand video content, so like aka YouTube, let's say. Security and dust protection, we've talked about these, WAF, encryption, and dust, and shield. APIs and applications, so we can accelerate API responses and dynamic content delivery for web application. As we said, we can use it at Lambda Edge. Pricing, so we have two types of pricing. We have pay-as-you-go, of course, and we have the free tier one, which includes 1 terabyte of transfer out. So in AWS, transfer out or transferring data between the regions, it's going to cost you a little bit of money. So you need to consider that. And you have 1 terabyte of free data transfer. And I think here you can see 10 million HTTP and HTTPS requests each month for free for the first year. And that's it. So thank you. Wait, the question is wrong. So any questions? So that's it for today. It was a very, very quick session. Let me stop the recording.